And we're live. Welcome, everybody, to Hong Kong and beyond. This is an Asian Cinema Circle video, and today you are with the three Kung Fu Amigos. It's been a long time since we've streamed, and an even longer time since we've done a live stream. So please give a really warm welcome to Jason from Martial Art Theatre 3000 and Caleb from Caleb's Kung Fu Cinema. Hi, guys. How are you doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
Right, before we get into it, I just want to preface us with a little bit of an intro here. So here we go. Come on, guys, play some barrels.
I don't see you dancing, Caleb.
Not a dancer.
Is this a new one? Wow.
Well,
The three Kung Fu Amigos, Caleb, Jason, and Leon. The three Kung Fu.
Right, okay, that's enough of that rubbish.
Wow.
I just thought that'd be quite amusing.
it
So,
it
as
kind of started to sound almost like French music.
Or like an Italian dinner, like you're out on the
Yeah.
balcony or something, you know? Like,
Yeah, that too.
yeah.
was there
it's
a
just,
visual? Was there a visual, Leon, for people watching, or was that just the music?
just the music, yeah.
Okay, I thought maybe you had.
Music.
You never know with Leon. I thought he had something everyone was watching while we were.
No, I'm not that advanced yet. I'm still a bit of an old fart when it comes to tech. But yeah, welcome everybody. And I should tell you the chosen topic of today's video. We decided quite a while ago, actually, that we would cover Steven Seagal movies. And after much debate, we all came up with, wow, I can't do a massive list here. So we're going to do our top 3 Steven Seagal films in reverse order, as always, in classic Three Amigos style. Before we get into that, we're going to have a little rundown of how we all came to Steven Seagal movies. We'll do it in a clockwise manner. So I will start and I'll pass the baton to Jason, and Jason will pass the baton to Caleb. So for me, it was back in VHS days, back when I was looking for any new action film, and all of a sudden a film that you guys in America would know as Above the Law, but I knew as Nico, came out. And it looked interesting. We'd seen clips of it on TV, on video review shows, and thought, oh, let's hire it. Let's get that one. And the minute it came on with that sort of sound that you get on the Warner Brothers logo, it was kind of all enraptured, and we loved it. And very quickly, my mum became the hugest Steven Seagal fan, and still is to this day. She watches all of them.
Wow.
Even the later ones. So that's crazy. And that's it. Basically, I did, and this is embarrassing. I had long hair back then, and I did Brill cream it back into a long ponytail.
Oh,
I had a black leather jacket and the bright blue jeans. Yeah, I did want to be a bit of a budding Seagal.
Wait, is this a Leon taking the piss, or you really did that?
I really did that.
Oh, wow.
I really did that. Yeah,
I gotta see that.
somehow the cream is taking me out. I don't know. The cream's a little too far. You know, I get the jacket.
It was a little too far. Yeah, and no wonder it took me years to get a girlfriend, wasn't it? Really? But there we go.
Yeah.
Right, Jason, take it away.
Yeah, this is a short one for me on this, on my history on this. Pretty much, I love Van Damme, love Shogasugi, adored, of course, Shaw Brothers, all the old schools, loved them all. But I don't know why Steven Seagal, like I started watching them like literally, let me think, 40 years ago, all these movies, 1985. But I didn't become aware of Seagal till like 89, 90, because a lot of the books didn't really, have like stuff about him yet, because he didn't come around till 88 actually. So, but long story short, I just saw one of his movies there I saw Out for Justice, rented it. And I remember my dad had seen a couple, and his first comment was, you know what, out of the ones you play and all of them, I think he's the best actor. I was like, oh, okay. Because if you remember, my dad was the one who pointed out how bad Van Damme's acting was in Bloodsport with when Ogre gets maimed. So yeah, long story short, I watched that one, but something didn't grab me about it. I thought it was cool. I saw the martial arts, but he just struck me as like an action star at the time. It didn't like Van Damme had me clamoring to keep going.
Yeah.
Steven Seagal, honestly, just ended there. It was like one, and then Under Siege maybe a year or two later, 92-ish, whenever that came out. But that was it. So it was kind of like, and then of course we all know Steven Seagal morphed him to whatever he became, like a living meme, So, yeah, I have a big gap. I mean, that's it. I just kind of rented 2 VHSs, and I didn't have the want to keep going for some reason. It just struck me as like a action star, a one and done for me. And and then once his ego kept growing, it just even made me not want to jump in later on. And I also heard that people that did like him, his movies, just like, I think I heard he outdid Van Damme when it came to the cheesiness of the straight to VHS, because Van Damme had like Derailed and stuff. But so, yeah, that's my history there.
And Caleb.
Yeah, that's a good one. My I guess history experience, whatever you want to call it, with Seagal is almost non-existent for a pretty big portion of my life. I didn't know who Steven Seagal was until man, I'm trying to remember how old I probably was. Might have been maybe around 10 years old. And I had watched a biography episode on A&E. I don't know if you guys are familiar with A&E biography, but they did one on Bruce Lee, and
so good.
Yeah, it was a good one, and but I remember watching that, and I thought it was a really great episode. That is like the good breakdown of Bruce's career and stuff like that in his life. But towards the end of the documentary, whenever they got to talking about other martial arts action stars that have kind of come after Bruce passed away and everything, one of the guys they mentioned was Steven Seagal. And I didn't know who he was at that time. Like they really didn't show any. I don't remember if they showed any like video footage of him. They just showed like some pictures and said this is Steven Seagal. He's like one of the many other martial arts actors that have come after Bruce Lee. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then I think a couple years after that, probably I was at my grandmother's house, and we were just channel surfing on the TV. And I came across Hard to Kill, and I saw him on the TV, and I was like, "Oh, I remember him. That's the Steven Seagal guy." And I didn't remember anything about that movie. I remember the beginning of it, kind of up to where I'll say, up until where his wife gets killed, at the beginning of the movie. I remember seeing it up to that point, and I didn't remember anything else after that. Had like zero memory of it until I rewatched Hard to Kill, earlier this year. But yeah, that was kind of it. And then, but I still like remembered who he was. I remembered his name and his face, and and then I would just see. I worked at a place called Hastings years ago, and it was like a video store, video game store kind of thing. A lot of people probably know what it is over here in the States, but I would see a lot of his movies come through there because Seagal has done 90 million direct to video films, so I would see so many of them come through at the store, but I just never bothered watching any of them. And I would say like I had kind of like a resurgence of Seagal, like whenever I was watching a lot of people review his stuff and like talk about how goofy it was and stuff like that. And so I was like, I think I should probably check out some of these for real. So that's kind of what led me to right here.
Whoa, hold on. So I thought I had a few. You have literally like a 15-minute memory of the first part of Hard to Kill.
Yeah.
And then that's it until we decided to do that. Oh, man. Yeah. That is like, so zero movie. Well, you had seen the full movie, but you only remember like 10 minutes of one Steven Seagal. Oh, man.
Yeah, I know. I had no memory of it. I remember talking to my wife, and she like asked me. We were like watching like one of those reviews of his movies, like and and I thought the reviews that the way we were watching, the reviews are really funny, like, and they were like doing like it's like really making a lot of jokes and stuff like that, and so I was like really into it, and yeah, she had just asked me, have you seen any of his movies? I said no. I saw Hard to Kill like 18 years ago, and I only remember like the first 10-15 minutes of it. And she's like, well, we should watch this some more. I'm like, yes, we should. So yeah.
Well, what made you not like keep watching after you saw Hard to Kill? It just didn't grab you, like we did with Van Damme.
Yeah, basically that's what it was. It just didn't really pull me in. The memory of it didn't really stick with me. He didn't grab me like, he didn't like pull me in like Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan or even Van Damme to a certain extent did. And so yeah.
That sounds like a modern generation thing. How you say like you just started watching reviews. I saw a guy once, Ocarina of Time, that little flute or whatever, the Zelda game.
Yeah.
He had a necklace of it, right? And I was like, oh man, you had the necklace. Kid was like 11, and this was like 10 years ago, and I knew it, And he goes, yeah. I'm like, you must love that. He's like, oh, I've never played it. I just watch Let's Plays on YouTube. I was like, imagine being so into something you had a necklace made, but you never played the game. I was like, oh, not knocking you, but I'm just saying, modern generation, some people like they know things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't they call it like a parasocial thing where it's like, or metasocial, whatever the word is, like through people reacting to things,
Right. Yeah.
It is strange. There's a big culture of people that just watch video games and don't ever play them. I don't understand that, but if you enjoy it, that's your thing. Game on. So there we have it. 3 budding Steven Seagal fans, all coming from a different angle. And I'm gonna estimate. Yeah, I reckon that we'll all 3 of us. I reckon we're gonna have 2 the same. That's my guess.
Yeah,
I'm gonna guess
maybe crossover.
Yeah, this should probably 2 the same, because there's not our pool, especially hearing what Caleb's saying now. Because when he had mentioned Caleb wants to do an honorable mention, I thought like you had watched all these like 2017 ones or something.
No.
I didn't. Yeah, so I was like, man, he's gonna be pulling some DMX one or something. Like.
No, yeah, I had no, I think I only watched 9 movies probably. I stopped at a certain year. I'll say I stopped at a certain year, and I was like, I think I've seen everything I need to see. Everything that kind of comes after this point is just kind of the same run of the mill interchangeable thing. And
the more painted on his hair became, it was like,
yeah.
He started off with his hair thinning, and then suddenly it thickened out, didn't it? And then,
but it wasn't like a big jump. Like the next one, it was still thin. Like maybe they had, I don't know, something they put in it. And then now it's like Bic marker or whatever you call it. It's like
it'd be like if we come on to the next stream and I've suddenly got an afro.
Dude, that would be cool if you went back to the Steven Seagal, like got the jacket and then got, with a marker, do the exact like angle. Yeah. We'll get a little krill, like Shaz can hang it off the back.
But he might find me and kill me. So no.
I love it.
Oh man.
Right, you guys ready for this?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Okay. Coming in at my number 3 position, and we've already discussed it. Hard to Kill.
All right.
Hard to Kill for me. I do enjoy this film, and rewatching it with Shaz, surprisingly, she actually quite enjoyed it. And it's bizarre. It's completely outlandish, a completely ridiculous plot. This I know, but it has the entertainment factor in there for me. I like the absurdness that he's in a 7-year coma and then he comes out of it and immediately he's got Kelly LeBrock hitting on him. She's been checking out his goods underneath the sheets. Like, what the hell? What we're trying to say here about these people. And then
not
William
to mention
Chandler.
Big tan 7 years later, that he still has the full tan. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
He looks like he just got back from the Bahamas and it's 7 years later.
UV treatment. It helps all coma patients, apparently. Keep that UV light on them. Keep the nurse checking out your goods. You're good.
The Leon Hospital.
But yeah, I do kind of like that story. I like the way he's got his son in there that is, you know, still alive, and he's the partner cop as well that's been keeping an eye out for him. And William Sadler makes a great villain. I absolutely love that actor, and I always used to quote it at the end when he was looking for him, like, "Oh, Vernon." Oh, just absolutely brilliant. And yeah, I think there's some good action in Hard to Kill. You know, the training sequence is probably one of the weakest I've ever seen. I don't like, you know, that he can train like that.
It just came back to me. You mean that like whatever, where his hands are going all weird? Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, what was that? And back then I thought it was good. And then I watched it with Joe and I was like kind of cringing a little bit and thought, I said, wait to it. He gets a good bit in a minute. In a minute. And
every movement was bad too. He has a stick and it didn't look good. Then he did the arms were like M&M mom spaghetti or whatever. You know, I mean, that was like
but it really cheered me up watching it. I can't say why.
Oh man.
It's a madness thing, but yeah, the Steven Seagal with Kelly LeBrock, William Sadler, that hits my number 3. I think it's probably affected a lot by nostalgia, and you know, my own personal reflections projecting onto that. That's it. That is my number 3. I have no more to say about Hard to Kill. I don't want to embarrass myself any further, so I'm going to jump out the hot seat and pass the baton on to Jason and see what your number 3 is.
Let me see if I can get this in camera here. My number 3, if you can see it's in a different language, is Marked for Death. And as Leon knows, this was tough to get. I had to get off eBay in Spanish. The ones, the English version was like $65. I was like, what's going on, guys? You know what I mean? Yeah,
it's hard to get.
Yeah, that sounds like another Seagal movie.
It does.
And so I watched this one. I watched them chronologically. The funny thing that I kept going is everyone knows Seagal, how he runs is hysterical. It's the funniest thing ever. But I thought he only did it at the beginning, and I thought maybe in his head he would say, "Oh, I can't keep doing this. I thought he'd maybe get like a run instructor to not look like that." He doubled down. Every movie his run got weirder. I don't even know how to explain it. Like even if he's running even if he's running like 3 feet, he has an arm rotating like that, like, you know, and it's like, so going in the Marked to Death, I was just feeling like, okay, I didn't love Hard to Kill. No offense, Leon, as much. I really did like Above the Law, but I just thought Hard to Kill was like his SNL feeling one a bit with him in the beard and all that. And I was like, okay, I can feel this one's, the budget's going up. He won't have, this one was like Run Central. It had like the funniest runs. I've been really craving in these older ones more of a villain, like watching some of these movies. Sometimes, well, in the 80s you get it, but some of modern movies, the villains aren't as pronounced. I thought these villains were great. The Jamaicans, the one with the crazy eyes and all of it. I just thought it was so cool. I thought why am I keep saying Van Damme, guys? I thought Seagal was just coming into his own a bit, and he was leaning into the character of him a little more. You can see him like growing into the character of, you know, and can you guys, this is an easy pop quiz. Can you find the outside of Under Siege in the beginning Seagal movies? What's the common denominator that runs through it? The thread that is just so obvious, if you can guess it.
Did you right at the beginning of the film?
No, I just mean in general, something with Seagal in each of these movies that doesn't waver at all. Not about his actions, just about, let's say, the story with him.
His character's background is usually the same.
Yeah, he's a CIA agent.
Yeah, you mean something like that?
He's always a cop or a CIA. He's always a cop or CIA, which I thought was weird. It's like, and you know what I think it is? This is going to sound strange. If you ever listen to anyone on SNL say who was the worst guest, they always say it was Steven Seagal. He wouldn't let himself even get beat up in a scene with Hans and Franz. He wouldn't let him even have any egg on his face at all. He didn't get the thing. I think maybe he wouldn't let himself be a guy. Van Damme will even be beat up and drugged through the whole movie. I think Seagal always has to come off as like, you know, hey, yeah. And so I just was like, man, he's always a cop. I mean, I can't even think of anyone else who's always that character, you know? And that's what struck me. I loved Mark for Death. The thing that struck me rewatching all these though is I think his martial arts skills on screen are not what I expected. I don't think he's that great on screen. I think he has 3 moves that look good. They look good, but in between the way his body movement is and stuff, like, when Bruce Lee, Van Damme, when they get into the pose, and that's what a lot of these movies are. Benny the Jet and Jackie Chan, it's all these like starting things, it looks amazing. Yeah. Seagal doesn't do that. He looks like, I don't know. He looks very odd to me. He looks how he runs in between, like when he's like, come on guys. And he does like this, like in his back is like this. And I was like, oh man, I'll just say it's weird. He's a mixer of very graceful with the moves he, learned from Japan, obviously. Those look great. He has the redirect where he takes you this way, takes you back. Then he has the famous when the fake arm like 2x4 comes in and he breaks it like that. And he has one where he kind of just throws you into a table or like does like what in wrestling, not a clothes hanger. I can't remember. Where you just have a clothesline. Yeah. So outside of those moves, and another thing I'll say as we get into this, not to go on too long on this one, but he strikes me way more of an action star. There's not these really long fight scenes. You know what I mean? He's like an action star that has martial arts. This isn't, the end of Bloodsport. This isn't a tournament. This is like 3 guys on a deli and he puts a, So I thought this was good. He was coming to his own for the Seagal style movie. Loved the Jamaicans at the end. Strange, whatever, witchcraft, voodoo, all that going on. I thought it was pretty cool. And the budget, you could tell, was really growing on this one when they fell out of windows on the cars. So Mark for Death is my number 3.
That's cool. I have a sneaky suspicion if I'd been able to get hold of it, that it probably would have replaced Hard to Kill for me, but I can't remember much about it. So I had to let it go, and I didn't want to, but I did. Caleb, you're number 3.
Yeah, I did have an honorable mention. Do you want me to save that for last or just get it out of the way now?
We'll do your honorable. I think you like somehow do yours right before number 1. I'd say.
Yes.
You know how they do that, like right before your number 1.
2, and then your honorable mention. Then we'll give number 1 out.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I do want to say real quick about Mark for Death, Jason. The guy who directed Mark for Death, Dwight Little, same guy who directed my favorite Brandon Lee movie, Rapid Fire.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, and it's funny. Dwight Little has said that it was difficult to do Mark for Death because of Steven's fighting style. It was really hard to craft elaborate fight sequences around that because Steven was really just Aikido. He said it was a lot easier to do with Brandon because Brandon had a lot of input and his fighting style was like way more kinetic. So yeah. So it was it was an interesting like difference between the two. So yeah.
Yeah, I saw Rapid Fire in the theater, and when he does that first kick through that stairwell and breaks us, I was like, "We're on now." I was like,
"Yeah, such a great movie." But anyway, my number 3 is Hard to Kill. Yeah, I mentioned earlier my first experience with that one, and it's just fun. It's very Leon already said a lot about it, but I mean, what I can say is that it is true. It is very outlandish, but we do get some fun stuff. We get probably the greatest line of all time, and I'm gonna take you to the bank center, Trent, to the blood bank.
On the bed when he turns his head looking at the screen. Oh man. Man.
That and how does it
tell
feel
that was
to know
like
you're about to die?
Yeah, so good.
Wow.
But the best one for me is when he's fighting everybody like in the at the end of the movie. He's like in the mansion and they're fighting like in the pool hall, like of the mansion, and he says, "It's for my wife. Fuck you and die." Yeah.
That one seemed made up on the spot or something. That didn't seem like you would write that in the script,
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I'd have to throw that as my number 1. I mean, I was kind of hoping something like Mark for Death would probably make that spot too, but I don't know. When I watched both of those, I was like, Hard to Kill was a little bit more enjoyable. So yeah, Hard to Kill is my number 3.
One question. Sorry, Leon. Oh, okay. Who's the guy? I don't know if it's who's the guy from The Office? Steve, the American version of The Office.
Steve Carell.
Steve Carell. What's the movie where he has long hair and a beard? He's like a caveman or something. Or am I mixing that with Evan Almighty? There's a movie. Maybe
he was
he's in
Evan Almighty. Yeah,
okay. That's what in Hard to Kill. That's what Steven Seagal reminds me of when he comes out of the thing. You know, if you put Steve Carell in a tanning booth, or like a Jersey Shore version of like. You know.
Oh, that's good.
Cool. That's good. I knew that's one crossover already. And just for the record, my favorite line wasn't actually Steven Seagal. It was Kelly LeBrock with, "You've got so much to live for."
I know. Gosh, that scene. You know they wouldn't even approach that today. That's very late 80s, 90s.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, moving on swiftly to my number 2 position. And you'll get this one straight away. Because, yeah, well, I also cook. Under Siege, of course.
Yeah. Go one.
Under Siege, like Jason said, with Steven Seagal being more of an action star, seems like a more appropriate vehicle for him than some of the other films. And it also felt like his first step up into like a big budget territory. And what I like about that is that they've got more of a palette to play with. You've got some big names like Gary Busey, and you've got Tommy Lee Jones. So automatically your caliber of actor is raised up, and actors that can do villains really, really well as well. I like Gary Busey when he's in Lethal Weapon as the villain as well. Tommy Lee Jones, I'm not going to say anything about Batman Forever, but in a lot of the films like Blown Away and whatnot, fantastic villain, great all-round actor. And then he's chopped off his ponytail for this one, so it feels like, hey, you know what, I'm going to knuckle down, be serious, down to business in this one. And it just does feel like an action film to me. I don't think of Under Siege as a martial art film, but I'm happy with where it sits in his filmography. I feel like that's kind of an area for him to explore, and he doesn't have too much acting to do in it either, which some of the other ones he does try and do perhaps a bit more acting, but in this one he is just, is it Casey Ryleback, the chef that was also, you know, yeah, I love that. I love the music in it. We had a former Baywatch actress in there. Was it Erika Elenak burst out the cake?
Leon is so good with he's like a walking IMDb. He's like, you can see her in other movies as like you're so good with the act. Like even like random actresses, you just like you bust those out.
I wish my actual memory was so good. It's just my film memory, but yeah, she's the only weak point for me in the film. Is I think take her out of the film. I'd have been so much happier without her in the film, because what does she add to it? Zero, in my opinion. I don't mean to be mean to her. In Baywatch, that was a sort of area. She was good in that.
What about the cake? The cake scene, though. Is
it necessary? Is it really necessary? I watched it back and I just thought, you know what? They wouldn't do this today. There's no way they would.
When you're 12, it hit a lot better. You know what I mean? Now it's just, I don't know.
But anyway, that small little bit out the way, everybody else in it I enjoyed. Some of the support cast who I can't actually name. I did like them. You had the one guy, he was in Rapid Fire as well, wasn't he? Was it Nick Mancuso?
Yeah,
he
Nick
got
Mancuso.
at the round table and he went to call into him. You didn't take orders, did you? No, sorry, sir, I didn't. I'm in the middle of a firefight or whatever it is.
Is that the guy that smoked the cigarette at the end? He's shady, like he might be in on it?
Yeah.
He's like, if anything goes wrong, we can blame it on Railback. Nice dude. So, yeah, my number 2, Steven Seagal, as of now, is Under Siege. So I'm going to pass it over to Jason and see what your number 2 is.
Give me a little drum roll. Hold on. Keep going. I have a triple pack of Steven Seagal in my...
Hey!
Part 2 is over here. I had to pull it out to not confuse the audience. My triple pack. Anyone have this one? I think
No, that's a good pack.
Yeah.
Nice.
As long as they have them on separate discs, if they all can press them down to one, it can be bad quality,
Yeah.
Yes, Under Siege. It was the second one I saw of not Van Damme, of Steven Seagal. Got it right now. And yeah, this is such a step up. It is like the budget's up. Gary Busey, Tommy Lee Jones. It is Die Hard on a boat. And what is strange, I always thought, I don't know why. I mean, it kind of makes sense. I always thought it was on a submarine. I was mixing this with The Hunt for Red October. I was thinking it was going to be Alec Baldwin on this as one of the guys. And I'm like, where's that? Oh, wait, they're not. And then it does bring a submarine. They're getting on a submarine. But if you would have asked me, excuse me, like a year ago, I would have said this is Die Hard on a submarine. But I was like right as it started, I was like, okay, they're on a boat. And yeah, I thought it was really good. I think that Seagal, there is a bit of a metaphor. Them throwing him into that freezer is kind of like, I mean, that's very similar to what they did to Bruce Willis. Like he's stuck on a floor, doesn't have his shoes on. They had to get him away, but it kind of showed me that the reason I put this at number 2 is, I hate to say it, why do I keep saying Van Damme? Seagal was a bit interchangeable on this. I feel like you could have put Sylvester Stallone, maybe not at that point, but you could have put an Arnold in or Van Damme or one of them outside of the Aikido, and it looks great. I just felt like this one, I wouldn't be surprised if this script wasn't passed around a bit and they got to Seagal. Yeah. It didn't seem tailor-made for him. It didn't seem like a Seagal movie, quote unquote. So him being in that freezer, it's kind of like they let everyone else kind of shine for a while, and Seagal almost feels kind of like I wouldn't say, I don't know. It was Tommy Lee Jones and Seagal co-headline before it says Under Siege. So I think it was kind of both of them took the show a bit, and I would say like a double, however you'd say, co-headline, co-starring, the lead roles. But I thought it was good. I love the fight scene at the end with Tommy Lee Jones. I thought that knife fight was great. I thought the budget, it almost felt like the budget was so big, they just had to, like, by the end, like, hey guys, we've got to use up 30,000. They're like outside, wind's blowing. I couldn't even tell what they're doing half the time.
Yeah.
It's like, pull that thing up. And I don't know. They crammed a lot in at the end. It just flowed great. Seagal, he was decent. And I didn't mind that girl. I thought she was like a comic relief. I kind of had to realize it was like an 80s tag along. Like, when you didn't see her halfway through and she came out the cake and you knew it was going to be his little sidekick. They'll often give him like a dog to hold and someone that goes with Seagal,
Yeah.
But he's usually a loner, in it. He's usually like cruising the streets. This one, he had someone like cruising with him,
Yeah.
And yeah, thought it was solid. I think it's good. I think it's a great action movie. Yet again, just to say with Leon and my point earlier, I just think it's strange that I thought these were way more martial arts movies, like I thought there would be like showdowns, like way more like just one-on-ones, at least like a 2 minutes straight away. Even the knife scene, wouldn't you peg that as maybe like that might be a minute straight? But it's like, that's kind of rare in these, I think like you said, or I'm sorry, that Caleb said about that director having issue. I think it's that Aikido is all about redirection. It's not about blocking, and you need those like blocking and parrying in these to keep the scene going. If you just throw a guy through the deli, whatever, with the pig's head, that's what he does. And then he just takes it, so yeah, great action movie. I think it holds up. I just feel as a Seagal movie, it doesn't strike me as much as the other ones is like I said, quote unquote, Seagal movie.
Excellent. Take it away, Caleb.
Yeah, very, very interesting take. For me, this probably won't go over very well with everybody else, but my number 2 is The Glimmer Man. So,
whoa.
Okay.
Yeah. So, why did I go with that one?
Yes, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, yeah. Mainly because.
Can we get a year on that? Have you seen that, Leon? This one?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I have.
Is this like a 2023 one, or is it like
no? The Glimmer Man was like I can't remember, like late 90s. Late 90s, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, why did I go with that one? Well, it's interesting because when I watched it, I went in thinking like this is probably going to be really stupid, but as it was going, I was like, this is actually kind of fun. Like it's almost like it's almost like Steven was trying to do action comedy here. It's almost like he's trying to do Rush Hour. I think this came out, might have been before Rush Hour. I don't know for certain because I think Rush Hour came out in '98. But it almost felt like he was trying to do Rush Hour, and I will admit there were moments that were actually making me laugh. Not really because of Steven, but really because with Steven it was like ironic laughter. But Keenan Ivory Wayans as co-star, he's really good. He's very funny. I'm a big fan of Keenan Ivory Wayans. I love In Living Color.
So good.
Yeah, so like he really sold me on that one. I mean,
So it's like a cop buddy movie, like Rush Hour. It's sounding like it. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing he's a cop again.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Even on the ones
CIA turned cop. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, he just like it has those moments like Seagal's like trying to do like it's like he's trying to be kind of like deadpan humor a little bit, and it kind of works. But Keenan Ivory Wayans was like the real comedic highlight right there. But there's also a good cast in there. You know, we got Brian Cox, who's great. Who else is in that movie? I can't remember the actor's name. It's the guy who played the warden in Shawshank Redemption. I cannot remember his name. I'm gonna have to go look now, but he's also one of the villains in that. But he was also, yeah. I'm trying to.
I could see Leon conjuring there. It was like
I was trying.
Bob Gutton.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have got that. I wouldn't have got it.
Yeah. So, yeah, Bob Gutton. He's in this movie. He's good too. Brian Cox is great. But we also get, I can't remember, Steven Tobolowsky, who is he's in the church scene. You know, he gets shot by Seagal's character. This is kind of his only scene, but he's a great actor too. He really nails this scene as well. But yeah, I don't know. This movie was just kind of more of a standout to me because he was like trying to go the buddy cop action comedy route here, and so it just it was a little more it was more interesting for me to see this one. And I also do want to point out, like in the final fight when Steven is fighting, he's fighting Bob Gunton's character has his bodyguard. I can't remember the actor's name, but the big final fight is between them two, him and the bodyguard. And there's there's a moment where the bodyguard throws like this high kick at Seagal, and Seagal just blocks it like that. And they do that same thing like 4 times. It's just block, like, and Steven says boring, and then he just blocks it again. Like it's just like that same thing 4 times, and I don't know why that just cracked me up so bad. It was so funny. But
how is the fighting in that one? Like at those scenes?
It's okay. I mean, like, I think they did try to draw it out a little bit, like maybe not have so much property destruction like they had in Seagal's earlier movies. Don't get me wrong, the property destruction is there, but it's also kind of like they tried to make the fights a little more elaborate. There's a little bit there's some more striking and you know, more hand to hand and stuff like that in this one. So yeah,
was that the one word they had a bit of wire work in there as well, a tiny bit, you could tell.
Yeah.
I don't picture that. Well, not in Seagal, like a crouching tiger thing with Seagal.
Yeah,
must have been like crane work. But
yeah, and there's also a scene like where Seagal is just talking about how his ex-wife died, and it's funny because he is just like not putting any effort into the performance, into like delivering his lines. It's very dry, and he's like, I have to tell my children that their mother is dead. And
that every one of my movies have the same exact plot.
Yeah.
I'm a cop and my wife was killed in my first 17 movies. Like,
yeah. But yeah, and you guys, but anyway, yeah, you guys know I try to think outside the box on this one, and so yeah, the Glimmer Man was just I don't know, it was just a unique viewing for me.
That's good. And cool. just to say, I think Caleb's outshining me on the name polls today. I'm like blown away here.
You lost that hour, you know. They say when you pull it back an hour, Leon, you know, people go a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's cool. I do remember the Glimmer Man, and I remember them trying to go a little bit more Hong Kong with the action.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm not sure this fits. And I guess that disconnect was why I didn't pull that one up for rewatch.
Oh, so wait, that one is like an American one versus a Hong Kong, you were saying? On the action?
Yeah, it's American,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's just got
Okay.
that more like, oh, we'll try and incorporate some of the wire work and some of the kicks and stuff that you might get in one of those films. And I just thought
okay.
it was a bit heavy-footed from Seagal. I didn't think I liked the film. I didn't like the choreography, and I couldn't get past it. But Caleb makes some valid points there. Does that leave me with my number one now? So should we do honorable mentions, which I don't have one. I think Jason doesn't have one, but I think Caleb has an honorable mention for us. So, brother, if you want to do that, and then I'll get into my number one afterwards. Is that good with you?
Yeah, good. I'm the only one with an honorable mention. So yeah, but everybody already heard it earlier. My honorable mention is Under Siege. I did want to acknowledge that movie because it is good. Like I like how large scale it is. Tommy Lee Jones's performance is really a sight to behold in that movie. He is incredible. Gary Busey's great too. Never thought I'd see a movie where Gary Busey was dressed like a woman for such an extended period of time in the movie. And
that scene,
yeah,
it suits him though. It fits him somehow.
Yeah, and there is a real...
that's kind of hot, doesn't he? I mean, made me ask questions about myself.
I was thinking that is the worst looking. Like,
yeah, but there's a really good supporting cast and everything. It's a solid plot. It's really simple to follow and stuff like that. But as Jason was saying, Jason pointed it out earlier, this didn't really feel like a Seagal movie. It doesn't feel like it was really made for him. You really could have put anybody in Seagal's role, and I think because of that, this movie it made me think, okay, I can't really say that this is a favorite of mine because it just doesn't feel like a Seagal movie. He doesn't really stand out in this, and it's yeah, and that realization that it could have really been anybody in that role, it just made me be like, I don't really know if I want to include this one in my top three. But
well, when you say it's good, is that above it's fine status on the Caleb's?
No, I think I would still say it's fine. I know I'm saying it's good, but at the same time, it's like that's fine. But yeah, but we do get another fun Seagal line in that one. You're in the Navy, and the Navy's not a job; it's an adventure.
I know.
Which
right on that edge, if he's mocking the commercial or he's just being Seagal, because I guess it's from a commercial,
Yeah, I was about to say that it sounds like one of those like Navy recruitment commercials, Come join the Navy. It's not a job, it's an adventure, that's really funny.
I could play in the Navy.
Yeah. But I also do want to say the knife fight between Seagal and Tommy Lee Jones, I don't like it.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't.
Why not?
I just Leon's like, yes, why? I don't know. When I've seen other movies, I've seen other knife fights that just really blow that one out of the water. It's not really anything special for me. I don't like the way it's edited. It's just like the editing is really chopped up. Seagal is just doing a bunch of like a bunch.
You know what? I
a
agree
bunch
with
of that. It's just weird.
Well, you could tell the two of them. Like if you watched like a Salat or I don't know, like Krav Maga, two experts with knives, it would have all these different maneuvers. You could tell they were both just doing their own like sped up katas, like in front of each other, meeting in the middle. Kind of like when in another scene, which I'll be mentioning soon. So
I don't know. I just didn't really like it, because like anytime I see, like whenever I see that, I can't help but think of like other knife fights, like in The Man from Nowhere or the first Extraction movie, something like that. It's there are just other ones that are like way better, and so yeah, I just don't like that. I don't like that knife fight.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Real quick though, I want to say, Leon, for people listening at home, the inside joke about Caleb saying it's fine is we talk about Van Damme. Me and Leon adore Kickboxer, and Caleb's historically
it's fine.
Him saying it's fine was like a dagger to our hearts, for the Van Damme level,
You're hurting me, brother. You're hurting me. Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. I get where you're coming from, and but at the time, comparing it to knife fights that were around then, I think it stood out against anything else. Now you've got like the likes of the Raid 2, and it's going to pale in comparison, and it really is. But yeah, Ferdows. I now switched on to what Jason's number one is with a throwaway comment he had just then. I reckon I know what it is. I ain't gonna say, but I think in the conversation at some point we may have already mentioned this film. But my number one, does anybody want to hazard a guess?
Well, because of what you just said, I think I know what it is.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go for it. It's fine.
Does it rhyme with wow, that's tough to rhyme. Bout for mustard. I don't know the way off. No,
it doesn't.
What rhymes with justice? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to be a little bit confused as to why this is my number one. But I'll just put out a preface for that, which is I will explain why afterwards. This is my number one with my little insight into where I think Steven Seagal's career should have gone.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
And number one for me is Nico, or Above the Law over in the US. And yeah, when we first watched this one, right from the word go, when the Warner Brothers symbol came up and you had that sound, I can't do it, that whatever it is, and I was like, ooh, I don't know why that sound resonated so much. And then of course we got in there Sharon Stone as Nico's wife, which, she was very young then. She wasn't the actress she was going to become later, but she was still a good actress. And then you've got Pam Grier. I mean, oh my God, Pam Grier, Foxy Brown herself as his partner. I just loved that. I thought that was a genius bit of casting. And then we got Henry Silva as the villain. I'm like, oh, geez. That guy, he was in so many great, grindhousey Italian movies, as well as being a villain in Buck Rogers for any fans of 80s sci-fi out there. And he plays a cop, doesn't he? He's just playing a cop, and I feel like
Help me with that. They're all blending for me. Who is he in that one? I wanted such a Seagal straightaway. I can't picture which villain that is.
He breaks the arm.
Yeah, he's the one
that doesn't help much.
At the end of the movie, he breaks his arm.
But the next movie, little old guy. Okay,
probably not old, but he was.
I just watched it. I just can't remember which one he is.
He's the one with the kind of stone face,
yeah,
and the really dark eyes. Yeah.
Okay, it'll come back.
Yeah, he's the one that he's torturing the prisoner in the flashback scene, and.
Oh yes. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, and he has his hair slicked back. Yeah, in Vietnam, you're talking about. Okay, I got him.
Yeah. So yeah, I've always liked him as an actor. I like a lot of the Italian stuff he's been in. It's been great, and I just think Steven Seagal kind of wasn't as worried about image then. I think the image came in on the next film, Hard to Kill, with the ponytail and everything. In this one, he was just like a conceivable hard neck sort of cop to me, some guy that's experienced. I kind of bought it a little bit more. It felt like his like a character for him to really sink his teeth into. Nico, and he's got that strong family tie. He goes out to get is it his niece back or something at the beginning? I can't remember whether it was his niece. It wasn't his daughter. I think it might have been his niece. But there's a girl in the family. He takes her back from this den of iniquity, if you like, where they're all giving him a bit of lip in the bar. That gave me kind of flashbacks to Chuck Norris films where you always have a bar fight scene. But I thought in this one, it's a bit more brutal. And there's a couple of fight scenes like where he does his flappy running again and chases after somebody. And then he's got that sort of look, and in comes the arms, and I just liked it in this. Nico for me was his most realized character, and I just like the story. It's kind of fresh at that point. Mm-hmm. It's not so fresh later on when we come to revisit that type of character, but it really works for me in Nico, and the action is just action to me. Again, I know there's like martial art moves in there. What is in there is short, quick, choppy, dynamic, and yeah, that's it. That's my number one. Above the Law, Nico. I'm going to stick with the title Nico, and I have a reason for that as well. But I will pass on for the delivery to Jason for his number one.
Well, I'm about to pull. Well, okay, I'm going to throw it back to you, Leon. I'm about to pull it in the frame. Do you want to say it, and we'll just redo this if you're wrong?
Okay. Jason, number one rhymes with justice.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like this is a bit of a hot take, especially after I rewatched it, because I'll say, you watched these
movies, didn't you, with Danny and Santo?
You caught me not wanting to say that, right? You knew I was about to say that, yeah. Because like Caleb said, it's similar to Dan Inosanto's a master, and I think what it is when you see Seagal with the sticks on his own, like in that scene, they're all blending a bit because he's a cop, and it's like cop, broken arm on the villain, and ex-wife dies as the plot on like all these movies. But yeah, so the end, so that thrown into that fight scene, that's a good example in Out for Justice of one that I thought was really good, and that's one that stands out in this. This was the first one I saw, and I felt like the other movies have way less action than this one. I felt like Out for Justice has the pool scene, where he puts the ball inside of the bandana. And I just love that scene. And what I was going to say, though, I feel it's a hot take a bit because you watch The Godfather and you watch Goodfellas. I love gangster movies, Casino. I don't know. It can be pretty like hit you over the head with the accents and everything. I think Out for Justice takes the cake with just like stereotypical Italians and borderline comedy. I mean, this is the one Seagal is just like, yeah, and he's speaking Italian the whole time, and that's where Seagal's ego comes in this. I think it's the first movie. He can speak like 15 languages. He walks down the street, he's talking. It's like, we get a guy. You're the master of everything. He's just like, I mean, he'll go up to a car, he's speaking Spanish, then he's going to another guy, and he just, he kind of phased that out. But this one, he's speaking Italian. Oh, just the characters almost of these. The mob bosses, just like 3 different mob boss crews, and they're all just like, hey, it's just such like it's right on the edge of an SNL skit, what I mean? It's right on that edge. And Steven Seagal, this is the quintessential Steven Seagal movie for me. That's why I picked it, because he's kind of coming, and that's what I love, Leon, what you just said there. He's so pure and hard to kill. He has the goofiness of the run and a couple Seagal isms, but he's just kind of just being a guy. As he comes into like the Seagal we know as like the living meme, as he becomes that, his final form, I actually think Out for Justice is his final form of still being a good movie. I think it's the best Seagal movie. It's like one of the most Seagal-esque movies, You couldn't replace him really in this. You could put in like someone else, but the fight scenes are so long. That's what it is, And it has, I've noticed some other tropes where he'll skip over shotguns and machine guns. He'll never pick those up, but he always goes with a pistol. And that's what makes like an action movie, Like, and he'll often, and then the second the guy loses the bullets, that's where he shows, I don't have bullets, and we'll have like our fight scene. That's like where the fight scene happens, unless he just wants to go in and just throw the guys all around, But I loved I think it's a deli. Love the deli scene. I love the cue ball in the bandana. That's a classic one. The maniac who doesn't quite look as Italian as the other guys. The maniac villain who's smoking crack the whole movie. If people haven't watched at home, a woman says honks at him and he's smoking crack. He gets out and blows her head off in the middle of the street. It's just such a, I don't know. It's just such a, like I've said before, character almost of a villain. It's just kind of like you'd see in a Mad magazine, they'd put that as kind of like a parody of what a villain would do. But outside of it makes it fun. And I like the cheesiness of it. I think it's good. I think him and his wife have good chemistry, or his estranged wife, to get back together at the end. I think the villain kind of gives me the vibe of who's the guy in Commando, the villain's name, Bennett. Who I've often said, I've often said he is the worst 80s villain of all time. They took a guy and just put chainmail on him, and he's barely in the movie. But I think he's funny for it. You know what I mean? He's just like, I love Commando. but this guy gives me that vibe, like a guy who, you know, he's a strange character. I think the fact they made him out of his mind on crack kind of
you know,
made
that guy from Commando, Bennett, he actually made it into a Ringo Lam movie, didn't he? He was in
Vernon Wells,
Undeclared War.
Oh,
Danny
okay.
Elfman.
Well, apparently he's like huge in person. He's like 6'5" or something. But in the movie, he comes off as just, I think he has a weird run in it too. Doesn't he do a strange run? I think he did the Seagal, like, you know, treading water thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Out for Justice. I think if I was going to tell someone, if someone wanted to see guys, I should leave the stream. I keep saying Van Damme.
I don't know why. Van Damme round 2, because we must follow up with that.
I think we need to do a next.
Yeah, from the 2000 onwards or something.
Yeah, I think I'm chomping at the bit or something. But yeah, so I feel if I was going to tell someone that a Steven Seagal, if they wanted to see a Steven Seagal movie, I think I would say Out for Justice. You know, I think Under Siege, like Leon and Caleb said, it's more of an action movie. And, you know, it's perfect for if you want to laugh, ridiculousness, and his best fight scenes. I think, you know, it has his longest and, you know, most thought out.
I'd agree with that. Definitely his best fight scenes in that one, definitely.
Well, how do you guys, real quick, feel? You guys were kind of quiet. And with that, I think this would be lower on most people's list. Out for Justice, right?
I can see. No, I think in our circles, a lot of people would have it up there as number one.
Okay.
Like you said, I think yours is probably more accurate than mine. I always come at it from a different vantage point. I look more film than martial arts. Whereas other people might go more martial arts than film. What about you, Caleb?
Yeah, I don't really like Out for Justice.
Fair enough.
Yeah, just kind of saying it plainly, I'm not really a fan of it. When I watched it, I went in expecting a lot. Like I was, because I know a lot of people, like Leon was saying, a lot of people hold Out for Justice in pretty high regard. You know, a lot of people say, like, when it comes to Seagal's best, Out for Justice usually gets thrown out there. So when I went into it, I came out just disappointed. You know, it was I thought I did like the pool hall fight scene. I thought that was pretty cool. Although I thought him and his stick fighting with Dan and DeSanto looked ridiculous.
Well, it's like you said, though, it's kind of like a redo. It's almost identical to the knife scene, the same issue with it.
Yeah,
and they're both kind of like patty caking a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when you see Dan and DeSanto in Game of Death, him and Bruce Lee, there's real maneuvers and blocking. This is kind of like he had to go down to Seagal's level of the.
It's almost like they were trying to make music. It's like a weird, it's like this new type of percussion that they just kind of made up. So it just didn't look right. I mean, and then the rest of the action, it didn't really. It wasn't that impressive to me. It was very underwhelming. I do not like Seagal's performance in this movie. Because most of it, he's just walking around. Anybody seen Richie? Hey, you know, anybody know why Richie did Bobby Lupo?
I invited him to watch this.
Sorry, Stephen.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the beret. Oh my! When he shows up with that beret on, I mean, who wears a beret like that? I mean, I didn't even know what that was. Was he? You know, I mean,
Kurt Russell.
Yeah, Kurt can pull it off.
Yeah,
and I will agree. No, I got you. It's kind of like if he would ask the same person like 5 times. Where's why do you kill Bob Lip? The same line. And I agree with Leon. I mean, the film's the most important part, but I feel like we had such little martial arts in all of his movies that this kind of balanced it out. And I enjoy gangster movies, and I just thought he was funny that he was just being this Brooklyn guy, like, hey, like the whole time. You know? The beret, though.
Listen, Robert De Niro's a fan of that film, isn't he? And
I wouldn't know. How'd you know?
Yeah. I remember him saying about it back in the day. You know, he liked Out for Justice. He liked Steven Seagal off the strength of that film. So
wow, he
knows these Italian gangster movies. So who are we to argue with Mr. De Niro?
I could feel them pairing up on some sort of, like, I don't know, Meet the Fockers 8 or something. Like some weird, like, yeah.
It was just kind of an underwhelming movie for me. I don't like his performance. William Forsythe as the villain, he is incredible. Like he's really great. He really brought his A game in that. So much so that, I mean, most people know the story is that he was so great that Seagal demanded that they re-edit the movie because he felt William Forsythe was outshining him. You know, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And that sounds like your critique is that like the Seagal's what brought the movie down, how he was acting pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, okay. And the plot of these are all the same pretty much, you know?
That wasn't really the issue. It was just, Seagal was just, he was just kind of dragging it down for me. I didn't like his very exaggerated accent, and it's
I respect that.
Yeah, and he walks around more, and the fact that in the car
you like him driving more, you like him
the car chase when the car is like doing this.
My god, yeah.
I work in parts, like for everyone who doesn't know, I'm in the car business. I work in parts, and so whenever I see him doing this, I'm like, what are you doing?
You saw the bill racking up, and you thought you saw the parts like
like, dude, you're gonna need new struts and new shocks. You're probably screwing your axles up, like, geez.
Well, what's the issue with walking around though? Just it's all it was, like kind
that's
of
all he was doing was just walking around.
Okay.
Anybody seen Richie? And I'm just like, dude, I don't think anybody has seen him, or if they have, they don't want to say.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. I like that tidbit about him. That sounds very Seagal-esque. Did they re-edit because he felt like he was being outshined?
Yeah, it's I mean, I don't know how true it is. I mean, I wasn't there, but it is a pretty popular I guess rumor you could say about that movie is that I mean, he felt William Forsythe was outshining him, so he kind of demanded that they re-edit the movie and cut some of his stuff. So
but that's what I'm asking though. He wanted it, or they actually did do it? Like they did. They did.
It?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the story is that they actually did. Like he was like really. Yeah, he was like very insistent on it. So yeah,
I bet he couldn't pull that shit with Tommy Lee Jones though.
Oh no.
Yeah, Tommy Lee butts heads a lot. Yeah, with people on sets. He hated Jim Carrey. I'm sure you've heard about all that.
Yeah.
Okay, Caleb, take it away. And just before you start, if it's on deadly ground, me and Jason just walking straight out that corner.
We gave you one with the Glimmer Man. We gave you one,
Yeah.
No, it's actually
fine
fired.
Rope here. Tread. You're on deadly ground, basically. Go ahead.
It's actually fire down below. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I swear. It's not fire down below.
Well, it's funny you should say that. I'll get back to you, man.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My number one is Above the Law. Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah, Leon broke it down wonderfully, but I will just say, like that was the one that was Seagal's like first movie. That was a movie that made everybody go like, okay, Seagal's here. This guy is the real deal. And when I watched this movie, I saw it. I saw the potential. I was like, man, this is a good movie. I like how grounded it is. I like how Seagal's character was more of a family man and stuff like that. I like that. His accent wasn't as exaggerated in that. He's not as animated, as he ended up being like later movies. The running aside, but I mean, it was just a fun movie. And I love that final sequence, even though it's really fast. I do like how him like breaking Henry Silva's arm and everything that whole thing is like, it's really short, but it's also just really, really heavy-handed. Yeah, it's just like he breaks out and he's like grabbing the shotgun and shooting. I'm like, whoa, and then he breaks out the arm and I was like, oh man, that's crazy. And
help me again with that, because it's blending. I watched Hard to Kill probably the same day. I went on like kind of a marathon. So Hard to Kill's where the mansion's at the end. Right, he's hiding out in that mansion. What is the scene where he goes against that guy and breaks his arm? Where are they located at?
They've been injecting him, haven't they, with the drugs?
Yeah, they're like,
and it like kind of didn't work on him. Like it was delayed or something. Like he fell asleep later.
Is what I read into.
It. Okay, cool. Yes, it's in that back like double dragon looking room. They're in some
It was kind of like, it was like a hotel kitchen or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But but yeah, I mean, I really like that scene, and I just like the rest of the movie. You know, there was just a lot of potential there. You know, and Seagal actually he does have some good lines, and they like he like later movies he had like a lot of really terrible lines, but in this one there were some good ones that actually like got me. You know, it's like when he's in the street and he's like got all those guys cornered with the gun, and that one guy
I
says
know.
something. Yeah, he's like you can't kill all of us, and then he just shoots him and he says, "Yeah, but I'll get an A for effort."
Yeah,
So yeah, like that was good. I was like, I like that. That's clever right there.
that's the best line in it. My
Yeah.
favorite Seagal line. That one.
Yeah. And I do like the and I do like that that it opened up with kind of a focus on Aikido. You know, I like how they kind of show off. They do show off the style a little bit, and kind of show off the culture and stuff like that. Even if you can't really say Above the Law as a martial arts movie in a sense, it does have that opening, and then there's like the convenience store fight, which I thought was pretty good. You get to see Seagal actually do some like legit throws and stuff like that. So yeah, I just really like that movie, and I definitely saw the potential there, and yeah, it's still a fun movie.
Good choice.
Excellent.
It's
Excellent.
a great one. It's a great, and it's funny when you mentioned that backstory, like this is Seagal makes up a lot of stuff. I saw an interview famously where he said I knew Bruce Lee, and he goes, yeah, and our children were playing together, right?
Yeah.
And someone did the math, and he was like 19 when Bruce Lee died or something. So I guess technically you could have met him, but he and his son wasn't alive or something like it. Seagal's son wasn't alive. So I mean, it was completely made up. But when I saw that opening on this like rewatch, I wondered like, did Seagal I know it's been well documented, his Japan story, but I was like, did he adopt this story later on to like be his like real life or something? Like it's hard to tell if they put this in because this is his exact story, that opening sequence, or he kind of adopted it later off of this movie. You never know with Seagal, I know there's footage of him in Japan. He was the first American, I guess, to get a black belt in Japan and teach or some sort of stats,
But the dojo in Japan as well, wasn't it? Apparently.
Okay. Yeah. So I know he's legit on that level. It's just sometimes he kind of spoiled it all by going down this thing of saying he hung out with Bruce Lee and their children played together, and all that. Yeah.
That's crazy. So, okay, I'm gonna start off here with my theory on where Steven Seagal should have gone. And then I'll pass it over, and you guys can, put your theories across. But with the Nico thing, what I was thinking, that would have been a better career path for him. I feel like he needed a character that he was synonymous with, a bit like you've got Stallone as Rocky or Rambo, you got Charles Bronson as Paul Kersey in the Death Wish films, and you've got Clint Eastwood as Dirty Harry in those films. And I feel like Nico was that character. And I felt like there was a lot more story to come from that character with his past background that he had and the career that he was now in. I felt that's why I like the title Nico, because you got like Dirty Harry, you got like Nico. And I feel like then you could have changed the titles up, in the subsequent movies. If you follow along that path, and you'd be like, I can't wait for the next Nico film to see what Nico does next. I know they kind of went there with Under Siege 2, but I feel like that just fell on its face. I didn't feel like Casey was like a character like Nico was. I felt like the film was bigger than the character in that instance, and to an extent, the villains were bigger than him. With Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Busey. But Nico, I feel like if he'd just gone down that path, what would it have done? Would he have become a household name? Because it's like, oh yeah, Nico, Steven Seagal, Nico. I don't know. It could have been a thing. To me, I think it should have been explored, but it wasn't, and we'll never know. Instead, he just ended up revisiting the same type of character with different name, and it all gets lost in the mix. Whereas I'd like to have seen some follow through. And I think that might have given him a bit more success. But that's my take.
That's a good
pass
take.
it over to you, Jace. And
sure, Leon, that was good. It got my gears turning about what he could have done. Yeah, I think what it is kind of what you would want to do for Seagal himself. I think he needs humbleness. You know what I mean? He needs like
Yeah.
to be humble. That's what made Rocky so good. Rocky didn't even win at the end, you know, and everything's up against him, you know. And Van Damme, he'll at least, you know, let his character, like in Kickboxer or in different ones, he has to overcome something. There's something where he's down and out for a while, the training, you know, and that's another thing, no training in this, like ever, you know, except for that one.
Except Hard to Kill.
Whatever that was. And that, you know, that. So, yeah, I just feel he just needs himself be humble to allow himself to take a lot of hits and, I don't know, go to like, what's that third Batman movie where he's in the prison and he has to learn how to climb? You know, you need that, or even Executioners of Shaolin, you know, of where you just from Pai Mei, you need that like incredible thing you have to overcome. When the guy's just walking around the street, not taking any hits. I think in Out for Justice, he gets shot at the end maybe once, but he barely takes any punch in the whole movie, you know? So if you're just the ultimate badass who could speak 20 languages and you just, you know, and everything goes in your favor, except for your wife getting killed or your buddy who you found out the guy was dirty. It's just something about it where his heart doesn't always get pulled into it. It feels like, and that keeps him.
There is a film where he gets trashed actually.
Okay, that's what I wonder if later on. But the problem is, I have a feeling once it gets straight to that DVD, the parody of it all kind of, you know, because what you're saying about Nico, they tried to just kept upping it. Like you love that one-liner, so they gave him cheesier one-liners, and then you gave him like, I like how you guys went to the pureness of that. You know, there was something he did seem a little more restrained. And his performance was a little more refined. You think it could refine later. It felt more refined then. And later it felt more kind of like you could feel it like a script and, you know, but I think that's what it is. The other action stars, like Leon said, they found their roles that everyone's known for. Seagal, he became the character of Seagal, you know? Yeah. And if he had found more movies, like I said, that he was kind of got down and out, like, and he had to overcome, you'd root for him more, you know. There's just kind of it doesn't really take you on the edge of the seat, you know. And I will say in Hard to Kill, in the coma, yes, he does go down and out on that, so that's kind of like that bucks the trend. But I guess I was just so thrown by like the scene looking under his pants, it just, you know, and all that stuff with that, it kind of, I don't know, but they did do a good job of letting him slowly be able to walk and stuff. I like that, because in a lot of these movies, like he has the guy will have a glass of orange juice and then he's like ready to go the next morning or something. Yeah. So I like that. But outside of that, yeah, he's just too much machismo of it, too much of I'm the man and selling that at every moment. But I guess that's kind of the time in the period, you know, we have less action stars because in general, you know, and I like that. I love the big, you know, Arnold and like the 80s, the pillars of action. But I feel like Seagal kind of just needed to kind of lighten up a little bit. You know, maybe he did later. I haven't trekked through his 75 movies or however many, you know, so maybe someone could like tell us in the comments or something if later on he kind of did movies where and I think Leon has one here. I guess he gets beat up.
Well, no, right? Another one's come to me actually. Machete 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why is that so funny? That it just that like.
And then he
Machete
did a film.
8,
I think he did a film with Mike Tyson, which I haven't actually watched.
Oh my god, this is getting better and better.
I think it's something like A Businessman in China or something like
China
that.
Salesman.
China Salesman. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
he has
that sounds fun.
He has a fight in a restaurant or a bar, something like that, with Mike Tyson. But you can tell by the way it's edited that those two were clearly not in the same room at the same time. But
whoa, I've never heard of that type of edit.
Oh no, like go back and watch it. I'm telling you, it like you can tell, like, because like anytime they show Mike's face, you know, it's always like from back here. You never see their faces, you know, like together like that, you know. And so it's like, and so it's like anytime it's like a lot of like face, back of the head of the other person, and you can tell it's not them, or they're like the same way, like Seagal's face back and Mike Tyson's head. That's clearly not Mike Tyson. But anyway, I mean, it is true what Leon is saying. Seagal's character actually does surprisingly lose that fight.
Is this one of the 9 movies you watched for this? You chose that one? Okay, you just saw a fight scene on YouTube or something.
Yeah, I
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
had just seen that before. I think China Salesman came out in like 2016, something like that. But yeah.
No, that's cool though. Yeah, there's another. It's well known. It goes back to that Saturday Night Live. It's funny. All the Howard Stern interviews, it was just so many people when they're always asked who was the worst Saturday Night Live host, and they always say Steven Seagal because he couldn't get the joke of being laughed at or making fun of himself. And like famously, the Hans and Franz scene, he said,
Yeah.
"Oh well, I have to like beat him up at the end." Like he couldn't take those guys being stronger or something. It's like, dude, like for 1 minute, like,
Yeah,
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Right, Caleb, any last parting thoughts on Seagal and his career?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I think, I mean, there are a few movies of his, like, and you guys have already like heard me mention, like, you guys have heard me mention my top three, but like whenever it comes to those top three, everything else for me is just not really special. Um, like things like Mark for Death, Out for Justice. I mean, I like, and even and even Under Siege. You guys heard me say earlier, Under Siege is good, but it didn't really feel like a Seagal movie. You could have put anybody in that role. And then everything else that he's obviously done afterwards is just not good to me. I think he
Apologies, Tommy, doesn't mean
it. Yeah, I don't know. He just as I said earlier with Above the Law, he had potential. It was there, but like Jason said, he did not. He wasn't humble. He didn't have any. He didn't have any experiences to humble himself or anything like that. Didn't have anybody to kind of reel him in or anything like that. It was and that's kind of, I guess you could say that's kind of uh I don't know the word, but
His MO or his calling card, or I mean, that's kind of like what he is.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I mean, it just kind of goes to show what can happen to someone who like becomes like a really big star, and it really gets to them, and and they believe that they're a big star, and then they just kind of start making up stuff so much that that Seagal actually starts to believe the things that he's saying, even if it's not true or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think with that first movie, maybe even that second one, the potential was there, but afterwards, I think it just like slowly spiraled out of control. And but I kind of side with Leon in saying, if he had stuck to what he had done with Above the Law, he actually might have went somewhere. It actually might have. It might have ended up better than what it did. I've heard some people say he probably could have done something like like the Taken movies or like the John Wick movies, like in this day and age. He probably could have like been one of those guys who like really had a big resurgence and stuff like that. But obviously it didn't go that way. It wasn't meant to be, I guess. But
I think
yeah.
no, that's a great point. That's got me thinking, like if he had like a First Blood type movie, I think I've never seen him not being the cop. Like if he was pleading and had like a heartfelt scene, it's always him in this authority thing. And he's, I think it's that too, but no, those are great points, Caleb, for sure. I mean, can we all agree that maybe he has one of the steepest cliffs for movies, at least going well? And then, because Van Damme's went like, sudden death did well, but then the Street Fighters before that, 94, I believe. But Van Damme's with Knockoff and that it still trailed off a bit. If you go to Arnold, End of Days, that period, it still trails down. It's not like, it's like Seagal's. I haven't seen that On Deadly Ground, but I heard there's just the one-liners are just atrocious, and he wrote and directed it. But after that, he never finds his footing in my eyes. And I haven't seen these like Mike Tyson ones in this. Or Machete too. I haven't.
Have either of you seen On Deadly Ground?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Right. Because originally, gone.
I was just to say that was one of the 9 movies I watched in preparation for this, and yeah, it wasn't good. There were some moments that were just like so terrible that
Mhm.
that I was laughing. But I mean, you get to see some. I mean, you do get to see some good actors in there. You get to see Michael Caine
Michael Caine.
really
Oh, okay.
struggle. Yeah, you get to see him really struggle to do an American accent. You
Oh,
can
you
tell
can't do
he
that to Michael Caine. You can't do that to him
yeah,
of
you,
all
you could
people.
tell he was trying. He was like really trying, but that English accent just kept finding its way out there, and
That's like
it
giving Sean Connery an American
yeah,
accent. This is like can't be doing
And
that.
yeah,
and it had on Deadly Ground. I'll say it now. She'll never see this, but my all-time biggest actress crush in it, Joan Chen.
yeah.
I
Okay.
absolutely adored Joan Chen from when I saw The Last Emperor when I was like really young. That did
Oh, I've
some
seen that.
weird stuff
I
to my
can't
head,
remember.
man. I just loved Joan Chen in that, and everything she's been in since, like films with Rutger Hauer, like Wedlock and Salute the Jugger, and then she's been in Marco Polo recently. But even down to films like Turtle Beach with Greta Saki, I really do love that actress. And somebody told me once that they seen the American version of On Deadly Ground, and they said there was like a topless scene with Joan Chen in it. I thought, are they winding me up because they know I like Joan Chen? But it wasn't in the English scene, and I've not seen it since.
Hmm.
I don't recall hearing about it. But on that note, do watch The Hunted because that's my favorite ninja movie. I think I may have mentioned that before. And
Yeah.
Joan Chen's in that as well.
I'll
So
come check it out.
yeah,
Speaking of crush, I think Pam Grier. Every time I see her, she's such a babe. It's unbelievable. I mean, just everything about her. I mean, she's just.
she's smoking, isn't she? I saw her in the Miami Vice episode the other day.
Oh yeah, like a rerun
Yeah.
or what? Because they've had all these reboots.
Yeah,
like,
rerun.
Okay.
With the original. What was he? Was he called Philip Michael Thomas or something? I can't remember his name. Played Ricardo Tubbs. Yeah, Rico.
Not
So
sure.
she was like an ex-lover of his, and
Okay.
she comes down to Miami from Chicago, and she's looking for her sister. So Crockett Tubbs help her look for her sister, and yeah, it gets pretty dark. And she gets the bulk of that episode. Actually, she gets to do most of the action in it. So, yeah, if you like Pam Grier, I definitely recommend watching that episode. And she looks fabulous in it. So,
Yeah, I'm a big
yeah.
Jackie Brown fan because I know that was like everyone wanted something different after Pulp Fiction, but I thought that was cool of Quentin not to double down at all in that direction. It's a remake of sorts, and I just thought she was, and that was like kind of like what he did with Travolta. It's kind of like a resurgence for her, based off of her '70s thing. But man, yeah, she's
That's
just
my favorite Quentin film.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you know what? It had such a people didn't like it for a while, but then later, whenever like favorite Tarantino lists came out, it was coming up in #1 a lot because people realized like how good solid it is.
Oh yeah,
Playing against Type 2 with De Niro and that, all the
good, great soundtrack as well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The Delphines and everything. Love that. Right. So, has anybody got any last words before we depart?
No, it was a great time. It was fun. I think we kind of, I don't know. Here's my little small thing. I thought rewatching these, I become more of a Seagal fan because he was always the one I kind of cast aside. But this kind of, I feel good watching this era of movies. Even back then, I just love the aesthetic of it. I love all of it. I'll probably watch a few more of his, like to check it out. But it kind of made me it kind of re-solidified my feelings towards him, he's kind of in this box. He's okay at martial arts. He's decent. I just think maybe he's overrated on his martial arts. I thought maybe I would come out to him, man, he's so great. It's like kind of like, I hate to say it, a one-trick pony a bit, he kind of does three things. I wish he would have blossomed with the martial arts and seen more of that, or went the direction you guys went. But that's kind of my takeaway on how I feel about it. It was fun, but he landed kind of where I put him back in my little shoebox on the shelf for Seagal.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way, really. I mean, I definitely don't see myself revisiting any of those movies, except for Above the Law. I can see myself watching that one again because I did highly enjoy that. So I definitely see myself revisiting that. But at the same time, yeah, I don't really see myself going back to any of the others that we talked about. It definitely didn't make me really like really like
Right.
him or like his movies or anything like that. I just kind of like when I was young, I was like, okay, whatever. And here I'm like, okay, nowadays I'm like, okay, he had like one decent movie. Everything else is just, kind of throwaway.
I
Yeah.
have to ask Caleb, referencing something you mentioned earlier, Fire Down Below. I got recommended that by a friend at work. He said, Seagal's best movie. He said, really good acting in that one.
Mm,
No?
no, no, it's that movie is interesting. It's like I don't know if either of you guys saw my Letterboxd review of
No.
Fire Down Below. So what it wasn't long. It wasn't like a long review or anything like that. But I said this movie is basically it's pollution,
Mhm.
country music, Christianity, and Steven Seagal's wardrobe. Because his wardrobe is outrageous in that movie. That's pretty much it. Like that's all that movie is.
Is it a sequel to On Deadly Ground? In my mind, it feels like a sister film to it. Like
It's very similar, but it's not. It's not a sequel or a tie-in, but it
Yeah.
does kind of follow the same, like pollution.
Okay.
Well, I
pollution
respect him for the
anecdote type
environment.
thing.
Yeah, I respect him for the environmental thing. I did not see that coming. When you see this, where's Bobby Lupo? Like, that's an interesting turn. Like, that's the last thing you would guess is Steven Seagal got into like environmental issues in his movies.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's cool. But yeah, On Deadly Ground, that just sounds like like I said, the Van Damme ones. Obviously, I had the Van Damme Seagal like rivalry in my head. I've said his name like 5 times to trying to say
I
Seagal.
know.
But I think,
We're starting
man,
a
I
fight
think.
between them again.
What'd you say?
We'll be starting a fight off between them again.
Yeah, I know. The rivalry's back.
My episode and you keep getting mentioned. I'm gonna Aikido your ass.
It's back. The rivalry's back.
Yeah. Quick round the table. Ideas for next countdown. Eventually, whenever we do it, I've got one, and then you can chuck in whatever. Cynthia Rothrock on top of my head.
Well, you kind of. Yes, it is a good one. But when you said I should chuck in, there's a little clue in that line there, which I think we should do next.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
Chuck
Yes.
Norris.
Because, well, one time when Caleb had to go after the chat, your phone was dying. We were just saying for when we get to the next one, we did say Rothrock, which I think would be great. But I think Chuck Norris is another one who I saw like the Octagon in a few, like missing in action. But there's big gaps. I've not seen a lot. So I don't know. And I'm pulling the hope. I know his acting is pretty wooden. I can tell already from the stuff I've seen.
What do you mean?
But I think but I think it would be, I don't know. I think there's more to unwrap there. I think that'd be a better first one for a future. My vote.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Caleb,
Yeah.
any other throw into the mix, and we can put up a vote thing if you want or something.
Yeah, I would definitely love to do Chuck Norris. That would be a really fun one. Cynthia Rothrock would be good too. I can think of quite a few.
Chuck Norris next, Cynthia Rothrock afterwards.
Yes.
I think that's good.
And that gives time too, because it takes a while, especially with Cynthia that has a lot on both sides of the pond,
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot to watch. The Chuck one, I want to space it out because I did like a condensed thing of Seagal, and I swear the Above the Law and Hard to Kill are just one movie in my mind. I think it's good to give a little cool down in between them.
Okay, so this has been the Three Amigos. If you haven't yet, why haven't you? You need to subscribe to Martial Art Theatre 3000, Jason's channel, and you also need to subscribe to Caleb's Kung Fu Cinema, Caleb's channel, and also check out Caleb's podcast. It's dormant at the minute, but you never know when he's going to pop up with another random episode in the future. It has happened. And great back catalogue. Anything you'd like to plug, you guys, before we say farewell?
No. And I also we got the Mike Devendras podcast. I do that with Fanatical Dragon.
That's a good one, guys. Yep. That's a great one. Yeah.
And Food for Thought. I was just thinking of podcasts because Caleb took my podcast cherry. He gave me the first time ever on a podcast was on you can check out that episode, all of his episodes, but that was fun. The Game of Death.
But I never got to go on that.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, that's all right.
It did.
Considering it's just kind of like considering the it's just like considering the distance between us and stuff like that, and plus my limited tech at that time, it was just kind of it was just hard. I couldn't figure out a way to do it, and
ours was challenging. It took us I think a full hour to get going.
Yeah,
Because,
Jason and I had like a really difficult time, and I remember thinking like I can't even begin to imagine how difficult it would be to have someone that's across the pond from me over like over on the channel. Jason and I ended up having to just call each other and just record the phone call basically because we just kept losing connection.
I was
So,
on like a 1960s like PA speaker sound. Like, yeah, it was that anchor was just not cutting it. That was rough. That was
it definitely had its limitations at that time. But I mean, I still look back fondly on that episode. That was one of my favorites.
Oh my god, that
Yeah.
was so much fun. Honestly, I had a blast. I mean, the sound, who cares? It was funny. Like, what by respect to him being in England, it was that'd be tough. You know what I mean?
I mean,
in that episode,
I haven't give up on it yet. Maybe one day, a few years down the line.
that episode really blew up too. You know, I think it's still like sitting nestfully at my second most played episode.
Oh, killer! That's
So,
great. That's cool.
Yeah, so
I was surprised because Game of Death. I don't know. It's neat when there's so much to unravel and go into. You know, like I was just like looking it up and our chat. There was a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
So I did like your Dragon Fist episode on your channel as well, which I managed to get a little cameo in.
Yeah,
I was very chuffed with that episode.
Is that the one I had a mini cameo where you guys? That might have been a heroic bloodshed corner. That name still cracks me up. There was one you two were doing like something. I had to come in like you guys had me say a line or something like "Come on, Leon," or I can't remember. There was a collab straightaway where you guys would have me come in and just say a line. I was like, Leon, don't. Yeah,
I'd have to find it. I can't remember which one it is. I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember what it was exactly.
You guys did a fake out.
Fan of the Three Amigos out there, and they got what? How can you not remember? I know it all. It was episode such and such.
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, it was something you guys were faking it out. You were doing some sort of thing where Liam was pretending that he wasn't going to be in. I can't remember. It was funny though.
Yeah, we did.
It was a skit. You did a skit at the beginning. Like I think maybe Leon took a phone call. It was cool. It was good though.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So that has been the Three Amigos for.
That's a longer one. We normally do an hour. This was like
and we have best movies. What was going on?
I know. I think 3 is going to be the 5. We'll be doing like a Ben-Hur length. Like
it'd be too much. Right.
But I think it's always.
One.
Oh, I know. I think it's good because I listen to this Eddie Trunk. I just want to say real quick on Sirius XM. I love him. It's all about music. And he one time did a top 20 like albums from bands, and he would take callers. It'd be like 2 guys, and he had to tell them to please don't tell me why each album. It was so long. Then once you get down to top 5 and top 3, I think is a nice challenge. And I think it's suits Chuck Norris too. You know what I mean? I'm going to guess he has more like. I don't know if you say classics, but I think he has better movies overall than Steven Seagal, I'd imagine. We'll have to see. I've only seen a few of his too. I mean, I love him as like I've seen a decent amount, but I haven't seen like Mission in Action 2 and all these different,
Oh, I've seen a lot. I'm a big fan.
Nice one. Cool, guys.
Right. Okay, then. Adios,
thanks everyone for watching.
That's been the Three Amigos, and don't forget to subscribe to these guys' channels, and we will catch you on the next one.